Hello. Today I'm going to talk about my experience working at a camp, also known as a retreat, and it was a Christian camp. Um, how did it go? I applied for that job for that camp about almost a year before, if not like 5 months before they even called me. It took them a while, if not like 6 months, to call me. And I was applying for jobs. I was in between jobs at the time, and I think it was like in late December. No, it had to have been early January because my quarter had just started it in January for the winter quarter, fall, spring quarter, or something like that. And it was like 5 p.m. It was dark. I mean, it's already like January, so of course it's dark at like 5 p.m. The boss called me up and he goes, "Hey, are you interested in the job working here at the camp? We'd like to set up an interview." I said, "Well, when are you available? When I want a job and I want to get hired, I'd like to do my interview as soon as possible. I don't like to take a week, wait a week." And he goes, "Well, I'm available next week, but I can do an interview. I can do an interview next week or something like that." I said, "Well, are you available tonight? You know, because in that meant if I got an interview that night, I could start working that weekend. So there's an extra weekend of work for me to make some money, right?" So I said, "Well, how about tonight?" He goes, "Yeah." And I just come to the camp, and I had never even been to this camp, which is all the way out in Auburn, close to Black Diamond, just about. I had never even been to Auburn. Just I've been around there a couple times, but never as far. I mean, when you talk about Black Diamond, you're heading out to the country, you're heading out to the edge of Auburn, and it was nighttime. I said, "Yeah, I'll be there. Give me an hour." And I got onto Google Maps, printed the directions, and I drove there, man. And it's a long drive. It's like a long drive, no joke. I mean, you gotta go down the highway from the college, take your exit towards Black Diamond, Auburn. Then you take it's a long drive. It's like a 30-mile drive or something. It's like a 20-minute, 30-minute drive. And I'm driving in the pitch black dark, and you're basically leaving the city behind you once you're away from Federal Way, exiting onto the highway there. And when you're leaving the city, basically there goes your all the lights and stuff. It's just pitch black out there in the country, and it was a little scary, because I didn't want to get into a wreck. I didn't want any deer jumping in front of my car, um, that kind of thing. Uh, but I drove and I drove and I drove. I had no clue where this place was, and I drove and I drove, and it was getting dark and dark. And next thing you know, it was dark as heck. And I got to the end of the road, and I took a right, and then I looked to the left, and I see the sign there, and I started driving, and it's even pitch black. Can't see anything. And all I can see is what's in front of me. So I'm going down the little dirt road, and then I just keep on going. I didn't know where I was going at all. So I just kept on going. I went a curve to the right, and next thing you know, I'm driving over this little bridge over like a river. Like literally, I'm driving over a river all of a sudden on this wooden bridge, and I was like, "Oh man, I don't want to be doing that. I don't want to be driving around at night in the first place." And then I'm driving over this bridge. So, and then there's the retreat house or something like the office. I knocked on the door, went in, had a great interview with the bosses, and that was John Thine and Lois Thine. And I had a really great time working for them. And I was 20 years old or something. Yeah, like 20 years old. And yeah, I had a great interview. And by then it was like 7 o'clock at night or 6:30 or something. And I had a good interview. They asked me some questions, and next thing you know, I was like, they said they were gonna do like background check and talk to people that 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 I had as references, and it was cool. But that's about it on the camp. I'll get another video on the camp. I've got to grab a cup of water in a moment here. Uh, but that's how I got hired, and that's how it started with them. And then on my next video, I'll tell you my experience beginning to work for them. And they told me to wear jeans and a green T-shirt, and I would be working way out in the area of Mount Rainier, which was 90 miles away, heck, 100 miles away from the city. I mean, you're already out in the country in Auburn, where I was at one of the locations of the camp. But that's not where I was going to work. I was going to work at a location that was literally on the at the base of the mountain, and they called it the Cascades. So if you know what Cascades are, that's like basically in the midst of the mountains, and it was just, my gosh, there's rivers and everything out there. It's really awesome to go to, and a really awesome experience. I'm glad I took that opportunity to go work for them and their company, because I had a choice actually at that time to work basically for the camp for part-time on Saturday and Sunday, Friday night, or go work for a different company where I would have been making like $12 an hour. And I just felt led, that's where I wanted to try this thing out, because I thought, I can do a lot of other things. That would be great to make that much money. But if I could work for a camp, that was an experience I wanted to have a go at, because I had never been to a camp. I had never even, been to a camp. So to work for a camp, wow, that would be pretty cool. So I took the opportunity, and I did it. I went to go work for them, and I'll tell you how that went on my next video.